And we will get this party started in just a moment.
It's been really slow, so I literally sit there for like 5 minutes and do calls.
What's everybody doing?
I could be doing something else. You could be paying me to do something.
Concurrent viewers is 3. I'm assuming that's 2 of you.
Probably. You actually call me or second when they join up.
All right.
Troy is also one of them.
So it is. I mean, that works.
All right, and I'm going to go ahead and call the meeting to order at 6:31.
8.
Yeah.
I will move to amend the proposed agenda, striking items 1 through 3 in the current month board topics, whereas items 1 and 2 are covered under off-cycle. Item number 3, board member voting eligibility, still pending. I haven't gotten anything to that yet, so I would suggest we strike them from the agenda tonight.
Second.
All in favor? All right, it's unanimous.
All right.
And then I will move to adopt the agenda as amended.
Eliminate number 5 because 5 is also a repeat.
Membership information?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's just a repeat of number 3.
In that case, move to amend or strike item 5 in our current month board topics by unanimous consent. Is there any objections?
No.
So stricken. All right, move to adopt agenda by unanimous consent. Any objections? Seeing none, adopted as amended. So perfect.
Sweet. All right. Is everybody able to hear us? I believe so. Everything should be working just fine this time right out the gate. Thank you everybody for coming tonight. So, first thing we're going to roll off onto is to recap the off-cycle board actions and votes. We do have 2 things that we went over as a special session since the last meeting. Those would be the ATC budget and the GPS contract. So we did approve the GPS contract. We did send them back and forth. It's big, it's lengthy, it's wordy. I don't think anybody wants me to read off the whole thing here tonight. If you would like to see it, please let me know. I would be more than happy to email you our final agreed upon form. It rounds down that instead of doing a 3-year kind of contract agreement with them as for $18,000 a year as we had done in the past, we are going to be doing it year to year going forward with monthly payments of 18,000 I forget what the exact number, 18,000 divided by the 12 that it would be as monthly payments.
That's what, $1,500 a month?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
That's what matters.
So that's what we had agreed to. We had approved of that. So we just have to get a check cut to them for the payments for the backdating of the contract to April, and then we will be good to go on that. Second thing on the list was the ATC budget. We were all a little bit busy, so we did not have everything ready for presentation last month. In our special session, we did look at our previously approved pre-COVID ATC budgets compared to where we're going forward. With us looking at potentially moving spaces away from the Waterbury with GPS to a new space, as well as potentially looking at getting our own another retained lawyer since Charles has passed, as well as would it be a CPA potentially?
Probably, yeah.
Some sort of financial professional, since Kim has chosen to not continue in the position as treasurer. So we have approved a budget of $60,000 for this financial cycle, and if we need to, we can always revisit that at a later time. So we are going to. So those are the 2 off-cycle actions we took. Does anybody in the chat have any questions or concerns about that at this time?
Or any questions in general, since we're moving right into the open session anyway.
Yes, thank you. Just that. Since that wasn't. I did see a hiccup. Alright, not too bad of a delay. Not seeing any questions in the chat from everybody, so we'll move on. So if any, since nobody's been asking any questions, I'm going to assume we don't necessarily have anything for open session at this time. If anybody does have anything for open sessions, please chime in and we will double back and we'll get that taken care of. We do not have any planned discussions from any visiting parties, nor do we have any equipment rental requests that have come in this last month. So that rolls us on to the coordinator updates. Troy with Anime Detour, as usual. Start with you because the alphabet matters.
Does it though?
Let's see, since last month, we spent the last month finishing up a process with our primary hotel partner, revamping the reservation process with them, how we work that behind the scenes, setting up room blocks and things like that, in order to open those up to the general public. Not only that, but the different room blocks that get sent out to other subsections of folks like vendors and artist alley, and ones that are behind the scenes for staff, things like that. So when we had approached the hotel months earlier that it was time to start looking at that process, we had come up on some deficiencies with them, not with them, but collectively with them, some notable deficiencies in the process. And they had pointed some of them out to us, some of them we had come up with together. So to make that more efficient for staff, attendees, vendors, and obviously our hotel partner, we kind of had to deconstruct that almost down to the ground and kind of rebuild that up. So it was a little more efficient process once it was opened to the public. And we did open it to the public just this past Sunday. And I think we saw the results that we wanted to. I think there's a few more tweaks that we can do, and some other things that we'll look at. But I think that just follows kind of what we believe our mentality is, sort of a continual improvement process, not only along the way, but constantly looking back, as well as not only after each convention cycle, but at various points along the way of how to, at each step, we can look back and say, okay, well, we could look at this going forward. This is a thing that we could do a little differently just to kind of improve that process. So we did sell out of our room block at the Hyatt. When last I checked yesterday, there was still some availability within our room block at our two overflow hotels. So that may have changed. So that was kind of the next benchmark. October's budgets. We usually like to open the room block in October. We did have to do that into November based on, like I said, that sort of changing of the process. We did have our first marketing video for this cycle come out. We saw some pretty good engagement on that, just even within the first hours. There's some geofencing involved in that, where we're looking at a particular area. And so, yeah, we're hoping that continues to assist us in sort of, brand awareness within our region. Going forward, now that we have sort of a lot of those big tent poles, it'll be continuing to work with all the departments and sort of, drilling down deeper, kind of fine tuning everything, starting to finalize some of those other contracts. And then we'll kind of have the time skip from the holidays over to the other side of into the new year. And then we'll kind of be at crunch time. So there's a lot of work being done on the registration and in preparation for walk-ups and stuff there. Yeah, I think that's pretty much covered just about everything. Otherwise, we're kind of in our relative normal period of time. Like I said, on the other side of budgets, registration is open. We'll be into, additional guest announcements, renewed social media push, not only for guests, but other things that we'll do to push social media engagement for the con and drive that awareness and registration. So unless there's any other questions, that's about what I've got.
Okay. Look at the chat, because I looked at that in a minute.
Nothing I haven't answered.
Oh, are you asking the detour? Yeah, if the question was about detour being at a different location, not for the foreseeable future. We have contracts signed for a number of years. It's something that we will continue, again, part of that process, continuing to look at every year to make sure that the spaces that we have continue to meet our needs. And if we need to take on additional space, or including looking at a different space, but we do have contracts here at the Hyatt as convention space for a number of years here.
That's right. I think they might have been referring to when we were talking about us potentially moving to.
That's kind of what I thought, but I just
and that would just be like our office space, a small storage space, our mailing address, and our meeting location. I know. I'm just answering it out loud because I like to, and I don't read when I write the minutes. I listen. So when I have to rewrite these minutes, the next couple of days, I want to make sure I can hear it and address it and make sure it's in there.
Moving on.
Yeah. So that brings us on to charities. We've not had any discussions since the last meetings, or since the last month's meeting. We have not received any charitable giving requests yet from any of the usual parties. So that's about where we're sitting at this point. Nothing new. Communities is the same thing. Unfortunately, we have not heard. I did not get in touch with the people for the photography people that we were looking at potentially for doing the GPS Santa photo shoot. I'm not sure if my dad would be able to do it, so we potentially have to, I got to get an answer back from him yet. So I just asked him a couple weeks ago, but he's been busy with work and life. So, but I'm not, it's kind of 50-50 on whether he'd be able to make it all the way down from Brainerd for the day. But we'll see.
So we'll spray paint your beard.
But I got rid of it. I don't know.
That's fine.
You can get the COVID stuff.
So we
I was just
will
gonna say cotton ball.
move on for that. We'll give a chance for Brittany to get here tonight, since I've not heard from her one way or the other whether she's going to be here. So we're going to SOS. SOS, I have not got any communications from anybody. And Brittany and I were going to sit down. Unfortunately, we ended up missing each other this last month when we were trying to get everything coordinated, so we did not have a chance to sit down and get any posts or social media pushes set up. So I'm going to be trying to get a hold of her over probably not even it'll be pretty close to December, just because most of us have a convention coming up this weekend and next weekend, and then the following week is Thanksgiving. So the next 3 weeks to 4 weeks at least, we're going to be really busy. So that's where we're sitting on that. So we're going to roll on to finance then. So as of this point, our main account sits at $194,324.27. The community fund sits at $13,782.26. And the education fund remains at $2,508.84. In the last month, We brought in a little over $9,000. The majority of that came from the, we had a push with the ATC, or I'm sorry, the Anime Detour registrations over the last month, what with hotels and everything going live. So a little bit interest from other, interest in donations from other accounts in there as well. That about sums up all of that. So with Brittany not being here, I think we can then roll on. Actually, because the last thing was actually the social media posting, which we would
There
need
was a
Brittany
question in the
for.
chat. Does ATC see any issue with doing a Xmas themed thing using member funds when that's a religious holiday?
It's
What
a
it mis-
generic holiday
Yeah.
themed thing, I believe. It's not
They don't do any
necessarily-
religious denomination, and Santa is not limited to any one religion.
And large parts of Christmas as celebrated in the US and other parts of the world are much more secular than religious now.
It's
Not
most
mistaken.
I know
the-
plenty of people who
the-
are other
The
religions
myth
who
of
celebrate
St. Nicholas
Christmas.
does predate Christian Christmas anyway.
yeah.
Also, this is something we have done a number of years in a row in the past in partnership with GPS as a
Yeah.
coordinated, cooperative fundraising event.
And GPS is non-denominational, so they don't do anything that is strictly.
No, and it
Religious
is
in any
open. It
sense.
is open to the public. It is completely free. There's no charge for any of the pictures, any of that stuff. We just gotta.
No ridiculous mall Santa prices here.
Yeah, no.
Mhm.
Wait, Mall Santa's charge?
Yep.
Plus, not to mention, nothing in our charter requires us to be completely 100% secular anyway. You can
No,
do
the only-
religious things if you want.
No, the only thing that we are bound by being a 501c3 is we cannot back any singular individual.
Candidate, we can't.
Thank
or
you.
We can't basically voice a political opinion.
Correct.
That said, though, you still have 1 hour to vote, so you haven't done so. I urge you to vote for whoever that may be.
Yeah, please do.
So moving on to social media posting.
That's about it. That was actually what I was going to say. I don't know if anybody wants to wait much longer, so we can give it a couple more minutes, round up to 6:50, give Brittany a chance to get here. Just because the only things we haven't covered yet would be communities and the social media posting, which both would fall under her umbrella. Because unfortunately, her and I have not had a chance to meet since the last meeting, so I've not had a chance to hear her ideas on those things yet.
I mean, she knew the meeting was tonight because we had an executive meeting last night. Voice that would be here, so she knew about this. I'm assuming she's probably working.
Okay. Yeah, the last couple of times she's been a little bit late because of it, so I just figured to give her a chance just because I had not heard anything from her. So, does anybody else have any questions about anything that we've covered tonight? Even things we haven't covered tonight? Do you have any questions?
We already had open session.
Huh? Just giving them one more chance before I call it into the meeting. Just because Charles seemed to have a couple of questions, and I wanted to make sure that we would address their issues for their issues tonight.
I'll move to adjourn.
So
Second.
it is 6:50.
All those in favor? Opposed? All right, meeting's adjourned. Thanks,
All right.
everybody.
Thank you for coming tonight. Our meeting next month is. No, Charles, we did address your question.
Literally answered it.
We rounded down to no. It's Christmas nowadays is not necessarily a holiday focused towards a singular religion. It is not only faceted across multiple religions.
Santa's not technically Christian.
Well, you didn't say anything specifically about paganism.
You just said
You
religious.
said, does ATC see any issue with doing a Christmas themed thing using member funds that's a religious holiday?
And considering I am pagan,
Because
there would not be an issue.
Well, the reason we haven't acknowledged anything Jewish or Kwanzaa is because nobody's asked us to. If there's a group or an organization that would like us to participate in that, I see no reason we wouldn't. We've done this in the past because our partner group, Geek Partnership Society, has asked us to. I know for a fact a number of our membership are multiple religions. I know
Who celebrated Christmas?
just in one of my teams alone, I can count pagan, Jewish, Mormon, Christian,
Pagan.
and Muslim in
I'm
one.
literally a minister.
Yeah, I mean it's this we are about as far from a denomination as we can get. So, and it's we're not. Yeah, this isn't something that we sought out. This is something one of our partner organizations reached out to us and did, or asked us to do because we've done it in the past. So that's why we were going to try and do it, because we wanted to continue working with that partner.
Bring it down. This is vexatious anyway.
So, if you've got other people that we can't rep anything if people do not ask us to rep things. If you have an organization, Charles, that you would like us to do an event for, please have them reach out to us. I am not Jewish. I am not necessarily pagan. I am not necessarily familiar with these things. If there is someone that would like to coordinate with us to organize such an event, then please.
Besides, this is a GPS event we've been asked to tag in with. It's not our doing. Anyway, the point of order that the meeting is over. Bring it down.
No,
Yep.
It's non-germane to keep this going.
So,
At this point, let's just
Yeah, let's
call
just
it.
end the meeting, and we already voted to adjourn.
thank you all for coming. We're gonna head up. We're gonna call it for the evening, since we have addressed the issue, and at this point, it is not going anywhere in a positive manner. Thank you very much. Have a good evening.